morning. But before we jump right into it, I'm just going to introduce myself. My name is Chisom, and I am the growth lead at Inbranded. And I know we have a couple of amazing guys on the call this morning. So what I want you to just do is to just go into the chat box, introduce yourself, your name, where you're joining us from, and you could probably even pen down what you expect to get from this session this morning. So please just go into the chat box. Let's get to know ourselves a little bit. Your name, what you currently do, and where you're joining us from, your location, and a very short expectation of what you are looking to gain from this session this morning. My name is Chisom. Like I mentioned earlier, I am joining from the city of Lagos. And this morning, my expectation is that you would be able to take something out from this session this morning, something spectacular that would actually help, that would actually help your own work easier. It will make your work easier. So let's just go into the chat box, and then I would like to say hi to some of us who are on the call this morning. I can't see anybody type in yet. So let's go into the chat box. I mean, let's just get cozy. Let's relax. It's a very cold morning, so we're going to be having. Let's just be relaxed. Let's let's get comfortable with each other, because we're probably going to be spending the next hour together on this call, discussing and having a very good time this early morning. Hi Jennifer, I can see you. Hi Godfrey. Hi Shegun. Thank you for engaging. Godfrey is joining us from Abuja. So, I mean, more people. Let's just go into the chat box. Let's type. Hi Precious. Where are you joining us from, Precious? Jennifer, where are you joining us from? Let's just get more cozy with each other before we jump right into what we're going to be having this morning. So I can see Precious. I can see Jennifer. Precious joining us from Enugu State. Wonderful. Welcome, Precious. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Andy, joining us from Abuja. Jennifer says she's joining from Abuja too. All right. And we have Michael, who is joining us from Kogi State. I'm glad to see that we have people from different parts of the country joining us this morning. Once again, thank you for joining us. But I'm not seeing anybody typing what their expectation is going to be for this session, or maybe a very simple reason why you decided to join us this morning, because it's a Saturday morning. You could as well be doing any other thing with your time, but there's a reason why you are here. So if you could just go into the chat box and just type a simple line, something very simple. Oh, this is why I joined this morning. This is what I'm looking to learn, and let's just do that. Let's just do that, right? And while we are doing that, Godfrey, who is our guest for today, I'm sure all of us here already saw that in the emails that were sent out. Godfrey is our guest for today, and he's going to be telling us how, he went from manually designing invitation cards to doing it via the Inbranded platform. Now, before we jump into having Godfrey tell us about what his journey has been like, I would like Shegun, who is my boss and the CEO at Inbranded, to just talk a little bit about Inbranded, because I know some of us might probably be hearing about Inbranded for the first time this morning. So just so that Godfrey's conversation with us is not doesn't sound strange, like what is Inbranded? Who are these Inbranded people? How did you find Inbranded? So I would just like Shegun to step in for a bit and just give us not the actual juice, just give us a little bit of summary, of what Inbranded is about, and before we would go into the meat of the matter. Hi, Shegun.
Hi everyone. Yeah, so glad to see everyone. Um, and Godfrey. It's really nice hearing from you today and getting to connect with you today. Can everyone hear me?
Oh, yes, we can. I can hear you.
Yeah, awesome, awesome, awesome. So yeah, it's an interesting moment. I've known Godfrey for a couple of years now. From the days when he was actually creating websites, to actually this thing, get people to upload images and finally download their images. And just speaking to Godfrey and just understanding, like I guess things from his perspective. It's a lot of stress, if you ask me. Having to get these things, then like go to Photoshop, to figure out where your images should go, where your text should go, like why go through all this stress when you can just use like a tool for it. So yeah, that's what Godfrey is going to be coming to share with us today. And yeah, it promises to be very exciting. And it's personally, I'm really looking forward to how this goes.
Okay. Uh, Hello, Shagun. Would like to see your face, by the way.
Sure, sure. Give me one moment.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Shegun, for that. So we would be in a couple of minutes. We will be diving right into what we're here for. I can see about. Okay, I already said hi to Obademi. Sandra is joining us from Enugu. Thank you, Sandra, for joining us this morning. So Shegun just told us about. Just give us a brief note about what Inbranded is about. And this morning, the conversation is going to be centered around our guest, who is Geoffrey Jonas, is going to be telling us about how he has been designing invitation cards and how he went from designing that manually to actually using the branded platform, which is what Shegun just talked about now, to design these IVs. So there's going to be a lot of conversation around doing things manually and then trying to find a way to make them sort of automated so that it makes your work easy, either as a designer, a business owner, a small business owner, a medium-sized business owner, a freelance coach, or anything at all. Just trying to make your work easier for you and then trying to help save you money. So rather than having to like, oh, okay, come and design this for me or get someone to help you design this. Inbranded has made that journey easy for you, where you can actually get to design these things by yourself. Most especially IV cards and invitation cards, you can get to design these things by yourself and also personalize it. So the unique selling point is that you can personalize these cards that you are designing. So aside from just designing the generic or traditional invitation cards that's obtainable, you can actually get to design invitation cards that are more personified to the people that you are looking to invite to your event, your birthdays, wedding, whatever it might be, your seminar, whatever it might be that you are looking to invite them to, your training, however that might actually, whatever event it might be that you are having. So right now, without further ado, I would like Godfrey Jonas to take center stage. Godfrey, so you would introduce yourself to us. I know a couple of people already know you on the call, but just introduce yourself to us and then tell us how your journey started. So if you have questions while Godfrey is speaking, you can note them down. You can drop them in the chat box, but definitely we will take question and answers at the end of the conversation. But then please note down your questions so that we can take them and make sure that you get the most out of the session. Hi, Godfrey.
Hi, Chisom. Good to see you. Thank you very, very much. Um, Let me share. Let me turn on my camera so you get to see my face. All right, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Shegun, for this opportunity. Thank you, Chisom. I want to thank the entire Inbranded team for these great opportunities. And also, I want to recognize some couple of people in our midst. I just saw a name that piqued my attention. I have my mom in the house. Her name is Abiola Olani Pekun. Seriously, it's I never expected having her here. She taught me while I was in the teenage church, and I've not seen her for a very long time. So I'm glad to have her here. So I want to recognize her presence. Thank you very much, Ma, for honoring this invitation.
God bless you. God bless you. I'm very happy. I'm proud of you guys to be here.
Thank you, thank you. And I also want to recognize my family. I have my elder sister here, Loveline. I have my immediate elder sister, Endurance. I have my siblings here, Favor and Jennifer. I really appreciate you. And I know mommy is there too, so thank you for coming in. And I also want to recognize Mr. Peter and all Mr. Peter from Kuje and our brethren in Massacre as well. So I really want to appreciate everyone. Really, time will not permit me to take the names one after the other. My colleagues are here from the university. I really appreciate you all. I appreciate everyone that honored this invitation. And I want to appreciate Mr. Deji. I just spoke with him this morning and then told him about the meeting, and then he still joined in. Thank you very, very much, sir, for coming. I appreciate you, sir. All right,
God bless
so
you. Thank you.
thank you, sir. All right, so let's jump right in here. Let me share my screen. Okay, let's go here. Okay, wow, it's amazing getting here. All right, so this is a journey for me. The journey for me in graphics. Let's say the entire aspect of graphics started in 2017, 2016 during my service year. And before I begin, I will begin by first introducing myself properly. First, my name is Jonas Godfrey, as you all know already. I'm an IT enthusiast and also an IT support specialist by profession. I hold a bachelor's degree in computer engineering, and I'm passionate about optimizing value and making impact. And also, I love nature and adventures. In fact, one of the things I like doing is hiking. A lot of people that know me with hiking, and all of that. So I love adventures. I love traveling. I love. I'm also passionate about optimizing value, yeah, and also making impact wherever I find myself. All right. So my journey into into graphics began from there. This was the time in the university, there's this app we're using called Virtual DJ. So the first time I started using the app, it got me thinking, is that making me feel like, oh, I'm actually a DJ and all of that. So I decided to come up with something, just and then I added it on my home screen, and it was just there, So this is an old picture actually, but then this is how it began for me, doing things with my hands, being creative, trying to put one or two things in place, and then achieving just just getting my hands, dirty, doing things and all of that. So that was what drove me in beginning something like this. All right. So basically, the journey for me began in 2017 when I was serving during my NYSC. During my NYSC days, um, it was a turnaround for me, and I was opportuned to serve as the zonal coordinator in the local government where I was posted to serve. Now, during that period, I was responsible, for coordinating the youth corps members within my zone on every, NCCF activities. So during one of the major activities we carry out during that period is the rural rugged outreach. And then during that period, core members we come in together and then go to communities to reach out to people. So during the last rural rugged outreach, we're planning for it and all of that. I saw that, people were not, most core members were not really, they didn't really get to know about it. The information was not really out there. It was just, something within us, within the family house members and all of that. So I felt, come on, we need to find a way to get the message out there. We need to get people to take ownership and then talk about it, you know. So I called a friend of mine, his name is Sean here. I called him, I said, Sean, what can we do, to get this message out there? And then he came out. I said, okay, wear your khaki. He wore his khaki. And then with the megaphone and the bag, we're trying to depict what it is, what it really is by putting our face out there and telling people, there's something about connecting with people that you know. When you see people that you know doing a particular thing, there's this tendency for you to connect with them, you know. So seeing Sheun on a flyer made virtually all Sheun friends to sign up for the Rural Rugged. Seeing Sheun on a flyer, gave them this idea of what the Rural Rugged was all about. And on the day of that event, we recorded the highest number of attendees that came for the Rural Year. And this was because we decided to, take the advert to another level by personalizing it, right? So personalizing it created this sense of, ownership. We are owning this thing. This is us doing this thing. This is what it actually means. This is how it is. This is what it is. And by connecting with the people you find on the flyers, created this sense of ownership and this sense of belonging and this sense of, come on, I have to be there. I have to be there and all of that. So we're able to design, as you can see, it's looking a bit sketchy, but this was like 2017, yeah, about 2017 that this flyer was done. So for me, that was where the whole desire began. It has always been my desire to push content of value in order to reach larger audience. And the truth is, even businesses, organizations are trying as much as possible to get their product to a larger, number of people. And that was why companies like Facebook introduced promotions. You promote your items. The whole essence of promoting it is just to get it to the eyes and the faces of a larger audience. So that was where this whole thing began for me. That was where this whole idea, began for me. And then, of course, the success was amazing. It was amazing. Like I said, we had the largest turnout that year because we took ownership of these adverts. We took ownership of the publicity through personalized invites. So now, this was how personalized invite was introduced. So in 2018, I found a better way to reach more audience, but most importantly, getting people to take ownership of publicity of their events through personalized invite. So that experience, after much thought, after much practice, after much, taking the content out there, I now found out a way that, we can actually personalize certain invites and get people to be much more interested in whatever event we're trying to promote. And that was how, just like Shegun explained, that was how the personalized batches came into being. The personalized batches is basically a web application which can only run on a web browser and which is accessible via a URL. So with this URL, people are able to go in, and then add their pictures, add their names, and then once they do that, they can download it and then have it shared on different platforms. We used this, I was able to apply this in different organizations. I applied it in churches, I applied it in events, and I also applied it in one of our major events that we organize every year. And then it was effective. But then there were certain limitations with this. Now, one of the limitations, okay, before I talk about the limitations, I want to talk about the use cases, the different aspects or different areas where which we utilize this solution. One of them is in promoting one of our startup called Wired Banking Africa. Yeah, so we were able to install it on Wired Banking website, and then have, we within ourselves, have Paul, have Shema and everybody, create batches for themselves, and then take it out there for people to just to create our brand awareness. So we're able to use it there. And then we're also, I ran a campaign in 2017 called But God's Story, where I share a link and allow people to share their experiences about how God came into their rescue and all of that. So it was effective. We're able to apply it in such cases. And then we also applied it in um, um, in my church in GLA Abuja, where we use it to popularize and also to create awareness for our weekly activities called mountain services. Because at some point we realized the number of people turning up for mountain services were very less. So we had to reach out to them through personalized invite. So people seeing our pictures were attracted to it. Oh man, let me come. Godfrey is here. Ifeanyi is here, and all of that. And then let me, it was creating this sense of belonging. We were part of it, and then and also we're taking the messages out there. So these were some of the achievements we're able to, get using the personalized invite. And then, but then there were some challenges that we encountered using the personalized invite. Some of them is the fact that we're only able to launch it on Google Chrome, whereas there were people that were using different kind of browsers. When you launch it on Mozilla Firefox, it scatters the entire thing. When you launch it um, on Internet Explorer, it doesn't look well and all of that. So it became an issue. And then I started researching and looking out for better ways we can, optimize it and make it look better. And in fact, some persons even suggested making it a mobile app and all of that. So shortly after then, I discovered GetDP. When I discovered GetDP captured the entire, concept of what I had in mind for personalized invite. GetDP captured everything to the core and even much more. When I was researching on GetDP, that was when I got to know that it was even someone I knew that actually built the platform. And I was like, there's no need in reinventing the wheel since we already have a platform. So I used GetDP for some time, and it's actually out there. I used it for some time, but then shortly after then, I transited to a platform called Inbranded. Whoa. So, it's been a journey for me, coming in from just designing static flyers to personalized invite to GetDP and now to Inbranded. When I found out about Inbranded and the possibilities that lies in it, it was just amazing for me. It was just amazing for me. And I was discussing with the founder, and I was like, come on, man, this was how I was operating. And just like he said, this was how I was operating. But finding this platform, man, there's no need. Rather, let's partner and boost this thing. Let's partner and take it out there. Let's partner and create more awareness about this platform. And that was how um, I got to know about this Inbranded. Inbranded is not just um, anyhow platform. It's beyond creating personalized invite. It's beyond creating batches. It has to do with, bringing your business, bringing your brand, and taking it to a higher level. So when I discovered Inbranded, I was able to engage it first. I attended one of the first webinar organized by Inbranded, and I saw a lot of things. And I was like, whoa, come on, man, let me explore this platform. Let me check it out. Let me see what's going on here. Let me see the possibilities that are on this platform. And then I started checking it out. I started looking at it, and I saw a whole lot, which helped me and which helped us in promoting our one of our last events in church here called Tongues of Fire. This was it. Now, some of us may have seen this somewhere on Facebook or on WhatsApp status. It was all birthed here on Inbranded. All that was built here. I didn't have to go through designing on Photoshop or Corel Draw and then exporting it to an application and then start adjusting until I get what I need. All I need to do is to run everything here. It means I can design here on Inbranded. I can attach my icon, and then I can generate a link where people will just go in and then enter their personalized, enter their pictures, enter a name, enter whatever they need to enter, and then it generates my batches for me. That is what Inbranded came to offer. That is what Inbranded is offering till date as I speak. So, what some of the use cases were, there was an event that we organized in May 22nd. So we're able to use Inbranded to generate most of the badges which we used for publicity, as you can see, Bitcoin Pizza Day, and then the Tongues of Fire event, and also this. I would like to talk about this a bit. Now, a friend of mine, Regina, called me some time ago that she's getting married and all of that. And the usual thing that you're getting married, you just have to start printing cards and all of that. So one day I just woke up one morning and she was like, she wants to start printing cards and all of that. I just thought about it. Come on, man, you can actually create these on Inbranded and then send the link to her, and then all she has to do is just to be imputing the names of the people she intends to invite. And immediately I just executed it and then tried it out and then sent it to her. Immediately I sent it to her, she tried it out, she started generating, and she didn't have to print any invitation letter, especially to people that she needs to reach out to who are outside Abuja. So this helped her to even reduce or lower cost in printing of cards. So these and many more these are just some of the possibilities that are available on Inbranded. These are some of the things you can do. There are many more which we're going to be looking at subsequently, which Shegun is going to take us through. There are several things we can achieve with this, and a lot of possibilities. Like I said, you don't have to design outside. Everything you need to do from the beginning, from the inception till this stage, can be done here. And there are several of them. So who is Inbranded designed for? SMEs, small and medium scale enterprises, can use Inbranded to build their brands. And not just building brand, not just sharing photos. There are quite a number of things you can do. You can use it to generate emails. You can generate leads, email leads. You can send emails even on Inbranded. And then one other feature that Inbranded has is the ability to track engagement. So it provides this analytics sort of feature where you can be able to track views, you can track page views, you can track entries, you can also track new audience. When new audience visit your page, you can also track it on Inbranded as well. So it has this analytics feature that can help you. Of course, you know what data does. Data helps us to make decisions and all of that. All right. Creators can use Inbranded. So rather than, I remember those days during when we want to go for events, you have to get pictures of everybody you want to, attach their pictures on each of those flyers, and then start designing and saving, designing and exporting and all of that. On Inbranded, you can do that, and you can achieve that through a batch session where you can create as many um, as many batches, as many images as possible on Inbranded. Marketers can use Inbranded as well. Marketers can use Inbranded to promote. It's all about branding, and marketing is all about branding as well, taking the product out there, and all of that. Worship centers, I'm talking about the likes of churches, the likes of event centers, this platform can be used to promote and to drive ownership of whatever events you're doing. So churches can use it, mosque can use it, different centers can actually use it to drive engagement globally. So lastly, there are countless number of opportunities that awaits you on Inbranded. Really, Inbranded has come to a point where whatever you think, whatever you can imagine, it's possible. If it's not there, you let us know. We're going to make it available there. So Inbranded, I believe Inbranded will create a whole lot of opportunities and even employment for people. And most importantly, people in this field will benefit more from it. You benefit more from it. Through branded, you can, build your brand, and then you can automate. One of the major properties is the fact that it's able to automate processes. So processes that will take you to, get emails, and then from the emails you now go to your mailbox or your mail app and then start sending mails. On branded, you are able to do all of that automatically. All right. So there are countless number of opportunities that awaits us, and as we go through the features that are available for worship centers, for businesses on Inbranded, as we go through the demo session, I believe you're going to see the needs, you're going to see the usefulness, and if it doesn't profit you, there's someone else within your network that may profit from this. So I urge us to take the word out there. I urge us to try it. We have a free session. You can try it. You can subscribe, and then you just try it out and see how Inbranded can serve you and serve your businesses. So thank you very much. This is my journey so far, and like I said, it's not the end of the journey. It's just the beginning for me, and I appreciate you. Thank you very very much.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Godfrey. That was that was insightful, and I'm sure a lot of us already got um, value from everything that you actually said. Um, so before we go on to showing you the branded platform, I'm probably taking you through a mini demo to see what it's like to actually create designs and all of that. I would want us to ask questions. So if you have questions that you want to ask, probably something that popped up in your mind while Godfrey was speaking, and you would just like him to address, or you would just like, or even if it's something about designing that you would like to ask about, this is a great time for us to start asking, our question. And I would take the lead on that, right? Because it's one thing for us to sorry, it's one thing for us to want to find products our that actually helps make our work easier, and it's another thing for us to actually find a product that makes the work easy. So the first question I would ask you, Godfrey, is so how did you come about in branded? How did you find branded? How did you go from, oh, this is a problem I have, I want to solve this problem, I need a product or a service or anything that solves this particular problem that I have. How did you go from that to finding in branded and then getting started?
All right. All right. So just like I explained earlier, I started out with personalized invites, which was a proprietary solution, from me. And then but then I encountered quite a number of challenge, which I think some of my colleagues in the media department who are here could testify. Most of those challenges were the fact that there were compatibility issues. The issues were basically the fact that most iPhone or iOS, users couldn't access it. They couldn't access it, and then most browsers couldn't render the application. And then, of course, it's a big turn off. telling people that, oh, this thing cannot use it. You have to go for Android devices. What if they have just iOS? And all of that. So I saw that as a challenge. It was during the course of my research, I discovered getdp.co. And then, so when I discovered it, it was amazing to me, because, and for the fact that it was even someone I knew that built it, it was super amazing. When I contacted him, I was like, come on, man, I've had something like this. I showed him, and he was like, oh, great. I was like, there's no need reinventing the wheel. The wheel is there. You can only join in and then, build up from there and all of that. So that was how I came into to knowing Inbranded, and right from GetDP and to where I am today. Thank you. I hope I answered the question, though.
Oh yes, definitely. Thank you, Godfrey.
All right. Thank
Yeah,
you, Chisholm.
definitely. So I would have, I was expecting that by now we would have had questions in the chat box. So if you have questions, do not forget to drop in the chat box. This is the section where we take, questions and answers. So if you have any questions, please let me know. So my next question would be that, um, since you already designed something, for yourself to use while you were trying to solve the problem of, the personalization aspect of things, uh,
Mhm.
how easy was it for you to transition from what you already have, to using it branded? So did you,
Sorry,
was it
I
more?
didn't get that.
So how easy was it for you to transition from using the platform that you said was proprietary, that you were using already, um,
Mhm.
then using, in branded? Was it a smooth transition? Was it easier because you already had something, or how was it?
Okay, well, at first when I found Inbranded, I was still using my platform, and I at some point I found it very difficult, to understand the platform. Not until after one of the webinar I attended, you know, and it was simplified. I was like, wow, man! So this thing is as easy. Maybe probably I didn't really pay too much attention on it, but subsequently after the webinar, I was like, oh, quite. There are quite opportunities here. There are things we could do here. There are things, a whole lot I could do here, and all of that. My platform still exists, not like it doesn't. You understand? But of course, I want my clients, I want people to, experience ease, because of course, if you're using technology and it's supposed to make life easy for you and all of that.
Yeah.
So, and I saw that in Branded, and that was why I transitioned to it. Yeah.
All right, thank you. I like the part where you mentioned that, you got on the webinar and you found out how easy it was to use. I like that part because it means that, for everyone here, literally the same thing. You're also on the webinar, and then I'm sure that some people who have probably encountered in branded, at some point in their creative journey. And there's some people who have probably even, never heard of Inbranded before. But either way, we are
Mhm.
here. And the reason why we are here is to make sure that you see how easy it is for you to, do some of the designings that you would need in your business, or,
Mhm.
personal life. If you're having your birthday, you want to invite people over, or whatever event it is that you want to do, and then you just want people to feel connected to the flyer or the poster or anything that you'll be putting out, or the idea itself. So at this point, I would invite Shegun to come and show us, just give us a brief tour on, the branded platform. And just like Godfrey mentioned earlier, after a webinar, he saw how easy it was for him to, use the platform to do his designing. So we are here also. So it's time for us to also see what the platform looks like, and see how easy it's going to be for us to, use the platform to do our designs. And one amazing thing about the platform is that you don't even need any prior designing knowledge to use it, because there are templates that you can use. So you don't have to design from scratch. templates you can use for different aspects of things that you want to do. So if it's a church program, if it's a wedding, if it's a birthday, if it's a certificate you want to design, whatever it is that you want to design, there are already pre-embedded templates that you can use to design. So you don't even have to start thinking of, okay, where do I put the eyes? Where do I cross the T's? Where do I put this and all of that? So you can actually. Oh, okay. I can see that there are some questions in the chat box. So I'm so sorry
Yeah.
for that. So Maurice is asking. So we have Maurice asking: Is in branded premium service? Is a paid service? Um. Okay. Maurice is asking if branded is premium service if it's a paid service. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, in branded, it comprises of both a premium and a paid service. Actually, when you sign up as a new user, you are assigned some credits, some free credits to use for a period, until you consume everything. So, and then once you're done consuming them, you can then go for the premium services where we actually you're billed based on credits. You're billed based on credit. So once you sign up as a new user, you have free access to use about 1,000 credits, and then afterwards you can then, once you've exhausted that, you can then subscribe for the premium um, uh, packages. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Godfrey. So I can see that most of the questions we have are really about the branded platform. So what we're going to
Okay.
do is we're going to skip the questions for now, go into
Okay.
the demo, and I'm sure the demo is going to probably answer some of the questions that we already have in the chat box. It's probably going to bring up some more questions, from some other participants in the webinar. So we're going to take all of those questions once we are done with the demo, since most of the questions are really about the branded platform. So hi Shagun, please take center stage and then we'll take all questions after that.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Chisom, for coordinating this. Also thank you, Godfrey, yeah for the talk so far and going over your journey. It's been a very interesting one. I like the part where you mentioned technology is supposed to make things easier. So like we should make things easier for all our clients. So yeah, I will just share my screen and just go over something I was just working on very quickly. I thought it was interesting that it just makes sense to go over like a use case rather than trying to like go over like the whole app screen by screen. So I was actually working on just this certificate of attendance. Like, you know what? Like the people that are here, like how about if we wanted to give like a certificate of attendance now, it could like this is one use case. Like it could also be like invitations as Godfrey has mentioned. It could be different sort of images. So this is like a design I created just not so long ago. And yeah, we see that we have like a full builder where we can actually add like a couple of things. We can add text, we can have images, we can have rectangles, just as design elements. I can put this here. um we can have different things really. Since this is a full-blown design builder, then we can also have QR code, which I think is a very, very interesting feature. So I'm actually going to, yeah, so without wasting much of our time, I won't get into like the design side of things, but I just want to show you guys like how to just basically take this template, then use it to like generate images for everyone else. Imagine like if it's an invite now, like you already have your template, like you want to generate images for your guest. How do you do so? You're running an online course. You want to generate like a certificate for all your students. How do you do so? So that's the perspective I'll be taking this morning. So there are primarily three ways, actually four, of getting this done. The first one is via a campaign, which I'll go over in a moment. The second one is via a batch job. The third one is via API, and the first one is via workflows, via automations. For campaigns, it's something that is available on the platform right now, and it's something that anyone can try out. For batch job, it's also available on the platform. Anyone can try out. For APIs, not so. It's still something that is in the works. Probably in the near future, it's something that is going to be available, so you don't even have to come to the platform to generate the images. And for workflows, for automation, again, it's something that is coming very soon. And yeah, it sort of addresses some of the I guess we sort of take a step forward, but like there are still some problems to be fixed, so this sort of like just addresses that. So first off, like Godfrey has mentioned, with a campaign, you can simply just publish this image as a campaign, then get a link that would actually that you would share to people, and they would be able to actually generate their final image. So for example, now I already have this design. Say I wanted everyone here to actually go and actually generate like a certificate for attending this webinar. um we would see how it's pretty simple to actually go from this to the campaign. Right now, I've designed my I've created my design, and it's looking good to me. So the next thing I just do is click on publish, and after that, it simply just asks me for my name, or for the name of my campaign, and I guess a bit of description. Yeah, so this is the name of the campaign, my let's call this webinar certificate. We'll create this, and now it's loading. And yeah, we just see this sort of simple page where we can enter a name, we can enter a description, I guess generate your certificate of attendance for our recent webinar, something short. Then category, this probably business is fine. Do I want to make it visible here? Do I want to allow comments here? Do I want to allow anonymous? Probably. Audience information, all those things are not so needed now. So I can just customize the link to webinar certificate. And I'll save and publish. Now that I've saved and published, the next thing is I actually get a link that I can actually visit and generate literally all my certificates. And this is how easy it is. So I already have this preview. So I can just do this, generate anonymously. Okay, right now the certificate requires a couple of things. It requires a name, it requires a signature, it requires a date, and I guess the value for the QR code. Oh, I guess I made the QR code just a regular QR code. So the date is today is 9th of 9th of July 2022. And the signature, I guess you can just call it sign. My name is Olusegun. Like that's pretty much it. So next, and now download the image. And literally, that's that's how easy it is to actually go from a design to like a final image. I'm not sure I spent up to 3 minutes on this, and I already have this already. So like if I wanted to generate for like 10 people, I can simply just come here, just go back, um, enter the name of the next person. Let's call this Godfrey. I already have the image for Godfrey generated. Like I could simply just go on and on and on and on and on and on and keep creating for everyone. Like it's literally easy. So I think it's interesting for this. So I would actually share the link in chats for us to actually go out and try it out. Um, so that's yeah, we can just try it out and just have a feel for how it works. Um, so I dropped the link in the chat. I'll just give us like a minute for us to just go and just I guess generate a couple of certificates. I just generate certificates for yourself, of attending. Then like I guess something you can share for later. So I'll just take like 30 seconds, like a minute for us to do that. Then I'll just start. I'll just resume. Like I said again, like we just go to the page, enter the informations, and next, and we download. So just waiting. Okay, so I'm guessing we all have tried it. Um, yeah. Okay, so I'll just so another thing that I think is important to mention is what if you already have a design that you've created outside the platform? How do you how do you import it? That's like one of the questions, because like I imagine fine, it's easy to have it's easy to come here to design, but like what if you already designed it outside, like in Photoshop, in Canva, in whatever? Then like how do we go about it? So the way we actually do it is sort of easy. Like we just again just go select an image from our device, our phone, our PC, whatever we're using to design, upload it into the design. Then we already have this. Like this is actually an image I guess for an upcoming event that Godfrey sent to me, which again is something that we can it's something that we can simply generate images for. And now that I've actually imported my design, my prior design into the builder, the next thing is for me to actually just add an avatar into it, where people will put their images and like, you know, then the next thing for us to do is to actually add a text input where people will put their names. So again, this is just a text, and I bring it here just under the design, under the under the avatar. I can simply customize the font. Um, I like this font a lot, so I'll just go with it. And again, I'll just customize the color. And we have our design. And I guess I can just change this one to enter your name. Um, just call this your name. And there's actually one other interesting feature that I think I'd like to show you guys before I just end in this design. I would instead bring in an image input. Um, then after that, I'll apply a mask to it, and we would actually see like one of the unique things about this, and one of the reasons why this is like super super easy and like super duper convenient. So right now, I'll just apply a mask of, I guess I can just choose this one, because I guess this one looks good. Um, so right now, the way it now works is because I've applied a mask to it, so rather than the image having to be in a circle or a square shape, the image would actually be cropped to like the visible area of the mask. So potentially, I can actually have feature my image into the design, but like my image could be like in the shape of an art. It could be in the shape of, I guess maybe I wanted people to put their face in like the put their face in like the image of Nigeria. Like we can simply add Nigeria's map as a mask and just have it there. And like whenever people just upload their pictures, it simply goes into the mask area. And like yeah, it's actually very interesting. So again, like as with the previous design, I'll simply go and publish this one. Um, simply publish this one. Like I'll just call this Ivy. Let's just say generate the Ivy for the coming games hangouts. In this is probably social. Um, yeah. I think this one looks good. Let's just call this TYD, like the youth department games hangouts. Again, like as you guys can see, we can simply customize the link to what we want, and from there we get a link. And again, we can simply just generate as many images from this link as we want, and that's like the beauty of this. So I'll just generate one, and yeah, we'll just see how the image looks at the end of the day. I'll just call this Olusegun, since that's my name, and I'll just choose an image. Okay, yeah, I think I found a good image. Um, yeah, and we see how it looks now. You see that my image is actually cropped to the frame of the mask. So like the mask actually allows to actually generate images in just like off shapes, basically. Like literally any shape you can think of. Like the mask will simply just allow you to generate images for that shape, with no problem. So yeah, I will just share the link for this one in the chat. So we can actually just try it out and try generating images for this one. Um, and once we do that, I guess we'll just wait like 30 seconds. Once we do that, I'll now show you guys the second way of actually getting this done, which is via batch job. And that way, like you don't actually need to create a campaign, you don't need to go through all this stress, you don't need to have a link. And like the use case for that makes a lot of sense, because what if you don't want this thing to go public? Like with a link with a campaign, there's always a risk that you know what, this link can actually leak, and like people that I don't necessarily want using it actually get to see it and get to use it. For example, like a wedding invite, I already have like a guest list of 100. Like what if the link gets to someone outside that 100? you know they're like other people starts to invite themselves, and we wouldn't necessarily want that. So it just makes sense to, I guess, have a different approach that isn't that doesn't necessarily expose the design out. And that's where batch job comes into play. And the idea of batch job is that you can actually just provide the data that would actually be used to generate the images. Like just provide that data and everything is going to be generated at once, and I'm simply just going to download as a zip file. That's just it. Again, choose the design, map the data to the design, generate the batch job, and after that, download as a zip file. Like literally, that's it. So again, still on that trend, I would create a batch job for this IV, the youths, the games, and Hangout IV, Hangouts, um, IVs. Um, I guess we can just use the same. And now I'll add my design. I'll just select this one. Next. So now I'll choose my data source. I can either use people on my audience list, so I can just upload a CSV. In this case, I really just want to upload a CSV. So I'll just upload it. I had one that I set up just prior to this. Um, so since in the design there's actually two inputs, and there's actually two inputs. So right now we have to map what goes into those inputs of the design. So for example, in the input place of my name, your name, like what should actually be sent there, so that it's actually used to generate those images. And in the image input where I actually upload my picture, what should actually be sent there as well. So I actually do not have a lot of pictures or a lot of links for pictures. So for the image input, we're simply just going to leave that empty for now. But for the name, I can simply just select a name field, and that is actually what is going to be sent into the name field of the design. And once I publish this, once I run the batch job, I would simply just have all the images with their respective names. So the next thing now is for me to run this, and it has been created and is actually executing in the background. Like right now, I don't necessarily need to do anything. Like once I run it, that's just it. Like I just let it do its thing, and so it appears is actually done. So I just click on download. Now a zip file has actually been downloaded to my PC, so I'm just going to, I guess, export it here, and just show everyone what was generated in the zip file. Um, yeah, which I think this is this is really really cool. Um, let's see how do I get this done? Okay, I'll just momentarily stop sharing, so I'll share my full screen, then I'll come back to this tab. Okay, so I believe I'm back to sharing my full screen. So this is the zip file. So this is the content of the zip file. These are the four images that were generated, and I put some very interesting names, but we would see the concepts. So this is the first image. Look at the name. The name has actually been substituted with Peter Parker. That's the name in the CSV file. This is the second one. The name has actually been substituted to Bruce Wayne. This is the third one. The name has been substituted to Tony Stark. This is the fourth one. The name has been substituted to Diana Prince. So we'd actually see that like the same thing we 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 got by actually running a campaign then, and having people to just fill out the form and generate the images. Right now we can actually just provide that data into the design directly using batch job and just generate it. Like we don't even have to do like go through an extra stress. And like right now, like I simply just downloaded the image, like the four images as a zip file. And I think right now this is actually about 2 MB when I checked it. I actually tried it at some point with like a list of like a thousand people, and it was actually really really interesting. The fact that I was able to like generate images up to like I think about 5 gig, probably within the range of like 2 to 5 gig. About like 1,000 images were inside. So like I mean, even I guess solving one problem that is not manually having to edit everyone or edit for everyone is actually one thing. I don't have to open Photoshop, go here, change the text, remove the text, add a new text, change the image, remove the image, add this, remove, add this, remove. Like it's quite cumbersome. Yeah. If I have to do it for like 10 times, then I guess I could do it, no complaints. If I have to do it 15 times, okay, you know what, like this is becoming stressful. Like if I have to do it 20 to like 50 times, you know what, guys, I'm not interested. Like this is a lot of work. And like, it's beyond my pay grade. So like I'm not doing this. Like this is just too stressful to do. So like going the campaign route, like it solves that problem to an extent, but like there's still that manual efforts where I still have to start imputing a form and uploading an image, imputing a form and uploading an image, imputing a form and uploading an image. Like it's still a bit of stress. I guess maybe in terms of my bandwidth, I could go from like 10 to like maybe from like 20 being, nah, I can still manage that, to like 50 being, you know what, maybe I can do 50. I mean, it's just filling a form, like, come on, what's the big deal? But like once it starts to exceed 50, you see that at a certain threshold, like um it still becomes like a lot of work, like it still becomes a lot of work. So like it's really unrealistic to have to manually fill a form to actually get this IV done every time. So like that's now the whole idea of batch job. Like a lot of people, especially when you already know the people you want to generate IV for, like chances are you already have the list of your guests. So, like, if you already have the list of your guests, then why do you have to still go and fill a form to actually generate an image? How about you just take that same list here, feed it into the design, and get the images out? Like, literally, very, very easy. You don't have to do like any work. And like right now, in less than like 5 clicks, I already got the images of like 4 people. Like, if it's like 20, as Nelson mentioned, even if it's 20, like, exactly. I don't have the luxury of time, like especially what if it's now like 100. Like, I mentioned that like I did for like 1,000, and like it was in gigabytes. So like I don't imagine myself having to go through this, because like I mean it's fun at the start, but like it becomes a pain very, very quickly. So yeah, that's the idea of batch job. Like we can simply just go from design, from list, with design to like final images in like very, 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 very quickly. Um, so there are actually two other ways for images to be generated, or for IVs to be generated via Inbranded. I'll really just talk through them, since it's not something that are launched just yet. So with an API, say you are a developer or you have access to a developer, you now want sort of like a system whereby, if say it's event registration, so say it's registration for an event, and you simply want people to just get these images, or get this, I guess could be their tickets, or even IVs, or some other things. You just want to get this done. um Yeah. So like say once people fill a form, you just want to get the images generated at once, without necessarily having to like get the list, export the list as a CSV, you know, get the open run a campaign and all those things. The third way to actually do it is via an API call. So like you can simply just send a request to our server, and like with like the design, and like the data you actually want to use to generate those IVs. The same way I sort of passed the name to like the name of the design, like we'll simply just do that via an API call. I will simply just get the location of the image for us to use for whatever purpose we see fit. The fourth one is via workflow. Again, the idea with workflow is for you to be able to automate actions without necessarily having to like do the whole manual effort every time. Still on the old trend of people filling a form, say for my event, and like them getting IVs, or even tickets and whatnot. Like with the whole idea of workflow is like, once the trigger is called, for example, if they just enter my segment, I can send them an email, then just have like a badge generated and like sent to their email directly. They don't have to do any work. They can simply just go to their image. They'll go to their email and like see the image downloaded as an attachment in the email, and like they just download it from there and share it on their social media, or use it for whatever purpose they want to the images for. So yeah, those are like the four ways of actually generating images, generating IVs via Branded. Right now we have two that are operational, with the campaign and the batch job. But with APIs and with automation and workflows, that is something that is probably coming in like the next few months. But yeah, there will be updates on that. So yeah, that's like a very, very quick demo of how Inbranded actually helps generate IVs. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. So yeah, back to you, Chisom.
All right. Thank you so much, Shegun. I'm sure from all of what we have seen, I'm sure some people still have more questions. I can see some people dropping comments in the chat box, about how, the future is great and all of that. But the truth of the matter is that this is just, an iceberg of the kind of things that you can do on and branded, from certificates from certificates to IVs to testimonials for your business. Instead of doing the traditional testimonials where you just have people write to you, you can put pictures. It just helps your business have this human feeling to it. So um, there are a ton of things that you can do. There are a ton of things that you can do on in branded, a ton of things. And what Shegun showed us is just an iceberg of the numerous things that you can actually get done. So I'm just going to touch a bit on the question Maurice asked initially about if Inbranding is premium service or if it's paid. So when you sign up on Inbranded, you get a number of credits. So Inbranded runs as a subscription, runs on subscription. But then once you sign up, you get a number of credits to actually help you do whatever it is that you need to do for a certain number of people. So you get to test it out. You get to not just testing it out, you get to actually use it. So if it's certificates you want to generate, if it's image campaigns, if it's email campaigns, you actually get a substantial number of credits that helps you do any of that. And I mean, with what you are given, you can test with about 400, 500 to 1,000 people, depending on what exactly you're going to be generating on Inbranded. So we give you a freemium. Let me call it a freemium. We give you a freemium, and then after that, once you have seen the value that Inbranded offers you, you can then go ahead to pay for it to use more of its service, or to have an extended service, or to reach more number of people. So just to move on to Jennifer's question. So Jennifer is asking if it's possible to get into Inbranded without having a skill on graphics design. So I'm just going to quickly take that question. So yes, what Inbranded helps you to do is to get you started on your design. Just like Shegun showed us, you don't only need to create a design from scratch or import a design. There are already templates that are there, and you can be sure that if there's a particular design you want to do, there's most likely a template that you can work with. So all you just need to do is, I mean, you have your brand colors. For example, the template you might see might be in orange, the background might be in orange, with some white designs or purple designs, but your own colors for your business are probably maybe white and green or so. You can just edit the colors, edit the text fonts and all of that. So you don't need any skills in graphics design to actually use the template on Inbranded, or use Inbranded as a product. All you just need is to know what you want to do. So do you want a certificate? Do you want an image for testimonials? Do you want an IV? Do you want image campaign to invite people to your event, or so that people who have signed up for your event can actually post the flyers on their own social media, WhatsApp, and all of that. All you have to do is know what you want to do. That's all. You have millions of templates that you can actually choose from. Shegun is sharing his screen. I will just pass that popcorn that over to him to talk more on that. Hi, Shegun.
Hi. So yeah, I just wanted to just show the templates that are available on the site. So currently there are over 200 templates that are on the site, from just regular templates for events, to from attendee badges to speaker badges, to for events, for templates for supporting a movement, templates for social events, templates for art and culture, business, others, tech, music, religion. Just like a whole lot of templates there that can actually be used. So it's something that is worth checking out. And if there's a template you're really, really looking for, we don't already have it, just to let us know. We'll definitely create it. That's not a problem for us. Yeah, that's back to you, Chiso.
All right, thank you, Shegun. So I guess that answers that question. And then we have a question from Okafor that says, "What's the difference between branded and web apps like Canva?" So I'll pop on that to Shegun to answer. Hi, Shegun.
I guess firstly, before I answer that, I'm curious. Godfrey, do you have an answer for this?
All right, yeah. That question is actually coming from a colleague of mine in school. His name is Jerome. Yeah, yeah. He asked the question. He said, "What's the difference between? Is there any difference between WhatsApp in branded and WhatsApp?" Yeah, big difference. Big difference. Really. Big difference really because let's talk about WhatsApp. Maybe WhatsApp is a mobile application, right, for messaging. It's basically for messaging, and then the only thing you get to do on WhatsApp.
Just to
Okay,
cut in,
so he's talking
Godfrey,
about Canva.
Canva,
Okay, Canva. Okay,
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I'm actually looking at WhatsApp here. All right,
it's
it's fine.
actually a
So
web
Canva.
app. Yeah.
Okay, web apps. Okay. Sorry about that. So Canva is basically an app where that provides platforms tools where you can design graphics. You can pick up a template and then customize the graphics, and then download it and use it for whatever purpose you wish to use it for. But here on Inbranded is comprises both what you can do on Canva, you can actually do on Inbranded, and much more than that, right? So in Inbranded, we're only interested in helping you brand your product, helping you take your product out there to people, helping you create personalized, invites and couple of other things, really. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
thanks, Godfrey. Just to add to what Godfrey said, I think in terms of like the overall vision and like what the founders see for Canva, Canva is like their tagline is design once, publish everywhere. It's a platform that is focused on getting you to create the best designs, be it like social media images, Facebook cover, Instagram reels, Instagram posts, Instagram stories, whatnot, presentations, um, whatnot. Canva is really focused on having getting you to actually create the best designs, brand your product very well. That's really Canva's vision, getting you to design. Why in branded's vision is actually getting you to engage your audience. So like engaging your audience through personalized invites, engaging your audience through personalized IVs, engaging your audience through personalized tickets. So like in terms of like the overall vision, it's quite different. There might be some form of overlap. Then that makes perfect sense. And you can go to Canva, create the design first, then import it to Inbranded, publish it as a campaign so your audience can actually generate their image. So Canva doesn't actually have that feature where you can actually just start downloading, or generating for everyone. Like you still have to, you run into that same problem of having to edit for everyone, which kind of sucks. So yeah, I think there's some parallels between Canva and Inbranded, but ultimately the vision is different and it serves like two different purposes.
All right. Thank you, Shegun. Thank you, Godfrey. So we'll take a question from Omomi. Omomi says, "How do you ensure a user doesn't register numerous times to get a limited amount of credit with probably different emails?" So I guess she's asking, how do we mitigate, since we give a premium when you sign up. She's asking, how do we mitigate against one particular person getting premium over and over again?
I can jump in on that. We actually don't do anything to prevent it. I mean, at some point in time, we get tired. That's that's the way it is. Like I mean, like it's like every other app, like even the Canva, I guess maybe not Canva, but like every other app where you get to pay for, having to create multiple accounts, every time means you're simply just duplicating work. And like I mean, at some point in time, you start to ask yourself, like, this extra like 1 hour I'm wasting. just to have it to export my design from there, then bring my design back here, have to set everything up. Like, is it really worth like maybe the 5K I'm saving? So like at some point in time, you get to ask yourself that question. Then probably you can stick with one account and just pay for it. But like if having to create multiple accounts, I wouldn't want to encourage it, but like we don't necessarily do anything to stop it.
Okay. So, just to add to what Shegun has said. For example, on Canva, you get 1 month free when you sign up to use some certain features, right? To use like removing of watermarks and all of that. Canva gives you 1 month free, yeah, to use like some paid features on the platform. And I mean, you can decide to start signing up with different emails and different emails and different emails. There's really no way you can completely mitigate completely mitigate that, because people, I mean, human beings will always be human beings. So, but then just like Shegun said, eventually you will get tired and you would have to either decide to pay for the service or use what the aspect of the service that is free, or if there's no aspect of it that is free, probably find a different platform or pay for the service, or but then that would be tiring eventually. So we have Desmond is saying we should do a brief recap. Desmond is saying we should do a brief recap. So we will do a recap, but then let me just take the questions in the chat box first, and then we will do a recap. So we have a question from Sonny saying, please, does it? Oh, so he's asking if the platform has templates for book covers, because I mean we've spoken a lot about um, certificates, IVs, testimonials, and all of that, but we haven't really said anything about book cover design. So does the platform have templates for book cover designs?
I think it's something that you can. It's worth looking at the direction of templates we have, and just maybe we might actually have it. I don't want to give a definite answer just yet. I want you to actually go, but just have a look at it, and yeah, if you actually don't see templates, you're like just reach out to the team. We'll definitely work with you to create one for your use case.
All right, thank you, Shegun. So just to add to what Shegun said, we're actually here to serve, and the easiest way for us to actually serve is for us to know what our customers want, right? So just like you have mentioned book cover design, now we know that, okay, so people might want to use Inbranded to design their book covers. So that gives us more information on the type of templates or the kind of designs that we can have on Inbranded, just to improve our services, to make sure that everyone that is supposed to be using Inbranded has what they can work with on the platform. So please feel free to unmute your mic to ask your questions. So if you don't drop your questions in the chat box, you would like to ask them by yourself, you can unmute yourself and then you can ask your questions. You can unmute yourself and ask your questions, and we will just take it from there. So do we have anyone who wants to unmute their mic to ask a question? And please don't be under any pressure to unmute your mic. You can also drop your question in the chat box if you don't want to unmute your mic. That is still allowed. We will still take the question. But then feel free if you would like to unmute your mic to engage. Hi Godfrey. I can see that your mic is unmuted. I guess you want to chip in something.
Okay, I think there are some questions here on the chat box that were not stated. I don't know, from Sandra Chuku.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh, okay, yes. Sorry, I missed that. That question. So Sandra is asking if Inbranded is user friendly, or how user friendly Inbranded is. I guess we already saw. I guess the at the demo that Shegun took us through already sort of answered that question, but then I would still let's still answer the question. I think we've seen for ourselves already, but then Godfrey, you're the guest and you're the user, so let's hear from you.
This is a setup, All right, all right, all right. Wow, wow. Really, Inbranded is it's user friendly. There's this amazing feature about Inbranded that Shegun didn't even mention. I'm surprised. Is the fact that first of all, there are different set of people that may want to interact with in branded, and some of these people might not be direct business owners or CEOs or founders and the likes. Some of these people may find this platform as a means to make income for themselves and all of that. All right. So there are cases where people ask, "How about you embed these on my website?" How about I want it to be reading my URL. I want people to see my URL, not yours. And the truth is, it's amazing because we achieved that recently. We achieved that recently with Tongues of Fire, one of our major annual program. Yeah, so that feature was, amazing. In fact, the fact that I was able to get the code and embed it on my website, and then people go to the website and access it. They don't have anything. They don't know where it's coming from. So it's a great feature for me and for businesses or for individuals that may want to use Imbranded as a platform to to create income for themselves. They can actually utilize this opportunity to achieve that. Yeah, so far it has been user friendly. In fact, the very main thing is the fact that I can embed it, and when I embed it I can view it easily, I can access it. In fact, a whole lot of people access that platform via their mobile, and they never complained for a day and all of that. So it's 100% user friendly. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you, Godfrey. Shegun, do you want to chip in something in addition?
I think Godfrey has answered it perfectly, so I'll just leave it for now.
Okay. And just to add, so even if you go on the platform and you're having one challenge or the other, there's a chat feature on the website that you can actually use to reach out to us, and then somebody would be readily available to help you through or answer any immediate question that you might have, just to make sure that your experience is smooth, and then it's easy for you to actually, go ahead and design. So somebody is always ready. So if you look at your screen now, checking sharing his screen, you can see there you can always use that chat feature to reach out to us, and somebody will be available to answer your immediate question. So in as much as the site, the product is really user friendly, you can also get on demand help or assistance um, that you need while you are even designing, right? So I guess that answers that. And those are all the questions we have in the chat box. I don't think we have anyone who wants to unmute and ask their questions. Don't forget that you can unmute your mic to ask your questions
Hello.
if you would like to ask your question.
I
Hi, Desmond.
yeah, I think I asked a question. This is amazing anyway. Thank you guys for all the good job you have been doing, but you've done. Sorry. I came late in the meeting and I couldn't get anything from the beginning. As in to know how to even start and also I did not even know how you guys came to this very moment we are right now. So I was asking for a brief recap, but nobody answered. They just I don't know if there could be a brief recap. Let me know how to start and then how to go about it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Desmond. Yes, we are going to have a brief recap, but I just wanted us to finish up with the questions that we had in the chat box, and then see if we have any more questions before we come to recapping all that we have said. So it's just going to be sort of like a brief summary, just to pinpoint some of the things that you have mentioned. from Godfrey's session about telling us about his journey in designing to the demo that Shegun did for us, and what we have learned so far. So there will be a recap, but we would just like that to be at the end of the session once we've been able to take all possible questions, and then we can just round up with a brief recap and everyone can go about their Saturday. So we have no more questions in the chat box. If you want to ask your question, please go ahead, unmute your mic and ask your question. Doctor, your mic is unmuted. I guess you want to chip in something. Hi, Godfrey.
Hi, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Your mic was unmuted. I thought you were going to say something.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. All right then. So since we have no other person who wants to ask any question, we have spent about an hour, 30 minutes here already. So Godfrey, would you just do the honors of giving us a brief recap of your journey so far in designing, how you started designing, to how you found Inbranded? Just a really brief recap, and then we'll come to Shegun, who will then just give us also a brief recap about the demo that he did earlier on, and then we can call it a day.
All right, thank you very much, Chisom. What an amazing time here. Well, I started by, talking about how I, got into designs, basically graphics design. And I started by stating where the passion came from. And the passion for me has always been to make things better, make things, whenever I meet things, I just try as much as possible to optimize them, to help it achieve more their objectives and all of that. So for me, my design journey began when I was in NYSC. During my service, I was opportune to serve in NCCF, to lead a couple of core members then. So it began there, and then it began with designing some few flyers. I shared one funny looking flyer, one funny looking design I did some time ago. But then that was where it began for me. And then shortly after then, I got involved in the media department in my church, where part of the things we are expected to do is to, represent the church, take the message of the church out there, come up with strategies to bring people and all of that. So that was where the concept of personalized invite was born. So I was able to come up with personalized invite as a web application, which I was able to use over time. And then it served to some extent, and but it had some limitations. So it was during the course of looking out for solutions to resolve that I got to know about Inbranded, and I saw the features and how that it captured what I had in mind and beyond what I I've been building, and it addressed some of those challenges I had. And then I thought, come on, man, it's there's no point in inventing the wheel. It's rather you plug into what is happening, what is existing, and all of that. So that was how I got to know about Inbranded, and ever since I've been, using Inbranded, for different purposes, for promoting programs, events, running campaigns, and beyond that, it can be used, for businesses, for building your brand and engaging with your audience, basically, and that's what we've been talking about all through. Thank you very much. Yeah, so
All right. Thank you, Godfrey. Thank you so much. So I hope that helped to bring you up to speed, Desmond. And then just to refresh our memory on what we have discussed so far. Hi, Shegun. Over to you too.
Yeah. Thanks, Chisom. Thanks, Godfrey. Yeah. So we can generate IVs. We can generate certificates. We can generate um pretty much anything we can think of. There's this thing we mentioned in the last webinar, which I think is interesting. It's that, like, if it can be templated, then can definitely be generated. With Inbranded, you can simply just generate it at scale. So with that, you can generate it either as a campaign, you can generate your IVs either as a campaign, you can generate your IVs either as a batch job. You can generate it through an API call. You can generate it via an automation that will be delivered to your Genesis email. So those are like the four ways. So right now, campaigns and batch jobs are operational. But like the other two ways is something that it's still in the pipeline. I guess over the next few months. Okay, so back to you, Chisom.
All right, thank you, Shegun. Thank you, Shegun, for that recap. Also, we do not have any more questions in the chat box. So I would assume that we are fine so far with everything that we have heard, and we have done a brief recap on everything that we have discussed. But then, if you would like to know more, if you would like to know more about what we are doing, you can send us an email at let me drop our email address in the chat box. So you can send us an email if you would like to know more about what we are doing. You want to speak to somebody one on one, you can send us an email there, or you can just go to the website. Let me drop the website also in the chat box. Or you can just go to the website inbranded.co, inbranded.co, and you can use the chat function there, the chat feature there to reach out to us, and we would be available to give you any information or all information that you would need. Thank you once more for joining us this morning. It has been an exciting conversation, and that's been an exciting conversation, and I'm so glad that we all stayed here till the end. Thanks so much for joining us. And at this point, I would say do have a lovely weekend. Do not forget to reach out to us via email or via our website. We will be ready to take questions and help you through making the most of the branded platform. Thank you once again. To have a lovely weekend, and we hope to hear from you. We'll definitely be reaching out to you subsequently. Uh, Bye for now.
Thank you, Chisom. Bye.